Looking for a better way to get around LA? SoCal 511 gives you real-time traffic alerts to help you find faster ways to get around LA County. It's totally free and helps motorists easily find fast track and roadside assistance services. Visit go511.com or dial 511 on your phone.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers get their first road win of the season. They were in San Antonio last night and won by 25. Best stat of the night belongs to James Harden. 10 assists and no turnovers in 28 minutes. The Lakers play Utah tonight at Crypto.com. 7 p.m. tip-off on TNT. Sad news in the Lakers family. The brother of former Lakers star Michael Cooper was fatally shot early Sunday morning in Washington Park, a park in Pasadena. Mickey Cooper was gunned down in the same park where he and Michael grew up playing basketball. Pasadena police have a 24-year-old male suspect in custody. Mickey Cooper was 64. UCLA's men's basketball team lost by 2 to number 4 Marquette in the Maui Invitational. The USC women's team got 15 points from freshman Juju Watkins to beat Seton Hall in a first-round tournament game in the Bahamas. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net. And together, we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. Happy Talking Point Tuesday. We are welcoming into the space a conservative commentator. She serves as Director of Membership Development for Project 21 Black Leadership Network. She's an accountant with public and private sector experience, as well as forays into politics and the ministry. It's a lot of jobs. She's a sought-after speaker. She's testified before Congress and appears regularly in the media and at conferences. Donna Jackson, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on. So much to cover. We'll just jump right into it. I know that Project 21, recruits and develops, conservative activists, spokespersons. Is that how you would define it?
What we really do is recruit people who have good policy ideals that help to strengthen the Black community. We might be center right, but we're not actually looking on as conservative. We're not recruiting
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at center right, Ms. Jackson, because I've talked to so many people from Project 21, and it's not center. There's nothing center about it, but that's fine.
Oh yeah, but well, one of our members, and actually, he is probably one of our most outspoken leaders. Was the president of the Chicago NAACP.
Yeah, I've talked to him too. He's definitely not center. But it was an interesting thing, as you point out. That was surprising. But anyway, your bio says you're a firm believer in free markets and entrepreneurship rather than government as a means of lifting people out of poverty. I'm guessing that is why you are not in support of reparations for Black people in this country.
Well, I'm not in support of politicians coming out and promising reparations during a political cycle. That's what I'm against.
Interesting, because I think that's just the opposite. What most politicians flee from it during elections because it will become an albatross. It would make them unelectable.
Well, yeah. Well, you recently had JFK coming out saying
oh yeah,
reparations.
Yeah, that's true.
He walked it back, and that's probably why we were discussing the point in the first place. We had a Black president. We had control by the Democratic Party on both or the Liberals in both houses
for about 10 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was long enough to be able to pass a reparations bill that didn't get even introduced.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people making that argument. Obama should have done it. But is it, I think to me, electing a Black president was part of repair, which is what reparations mean. Why should it have to be him? Trump is the ultimate deal maker, supposedly. Why shouldn't he be the one? Why shouldn't he, the art of the dealed his way into some reparations?
Well, I think it's more about economic empowerment, actually creating industry is what we should be more focused on instead of government programs.
Right, but that's not what reparation is. Reparation is if it's Georgetown, they have to pay for what they did. If it's the state government or the federal government, it's all of them owe a debt. So are you against? Or are you good with what California is doing? Like, for example, a task force which has now made specific recommendations. So this is not an election ploy. This is an actual study with an outcome and recommendations.
Well, we've had studies on reparations for 60 years, since John Connors introduced it when he first got in Congress. There's always
but that you're talking about HR 1, but that never passed. What are you talking about? HR 1 never passed. There has been no federal study on reparations. We've been talking about it, but it's been blocked so far.
Well, there's been multiple studies. There's still studies.
What multiple studies? Where?
There's been studies. There's a task force that was created when Obama was in office. That nothing happens. The thing is, I think that it just becomes a distraction.
Okay, I don't think so, but okay.
And I think that because we sometimes in this country treat poverty and minorities as if it's a mental illness. It's not. People are capable of creating innovations. But
reparations doesn't really have to do with poverty, only in as much as we've had things that belong to us stolen from us. Reparations is not a poverty program. It is a debt that is owed to Black Americans.
Well, reparations wouldn't stop. You go to Irish Americans. You go to Jewish Americans.
Because they're not subject to Special Order 15. They were not subject to enslavement by the United States government, nor the Jim Crow harms that follow directly, the Reconstruction harms that follow directly from the enslavement of Black people in America. People make that argument, but when you talk about reparation as a debt, it is tied to specific commitments made by this government. And it was not made to the Irish or anybody else.
I think that I think that if there's someone who is enslaved and there's someone who is enslaving them now, they should actually 100% pay them.
Yeah, but that's not what reparation is. Not for human trafficking, modern day slavery. We're talking about the original sin of the United States of America, the enslavement of your ancestors and mine. 12 generations work without pay, and then folks want to talk about a wage gap as if, to your point, we had some kind of mental illness, when in fact the problem is we have been robbed and never received any kind of insurance coverage for that, restitution or repair.
Well, I haven't been enslaved. I haven't had any. I'm saying that, I think that the main thing is this, is that it becomes a distraction. We sit down, we get angry, we're mad, we're not going to produce until someone pays us a debt. And in the meantime,
wow,
we have years and years of not producing as much as we can.
I'm not angry. I'm super happy because we are going to win reparations, and whenever it happens in my lifetime or not. And I'm able to be productive and have a job and still want someone to pay me what they owe me. I mean, are you telling me, Donna Jackson, if somebody steals your grandma's house, that's fine with you because it wasn't your house?
Well, I think that if we're going to have reparations, we should have everyone pay us reparations, starting with the Africans that enslaved us and sold us to the Europeans who brought us over to this continent. So there's a lot of pipelines.
Right. Well, and that conversation is actually happening in places like Ghana, where they're talking about how do those small number of profiteers that were involved in the slave trade, how do they what debt do they owe? What debt do they owe? But why does that let your government off the hook? We, the people of African descent in this country, our enslaved ancestors, built this country into a superpower by 12 generations of unpaid labor. Any business that had massive free workforce for 12 generations would obviously be very profitable. Well, it's time for us to get our share of the profits. And whatever happened in Africa does not in any way invalidate that.
Well, I think that it becomes a distraction. We end up focusing so much on that we don't end up producing for ourselves. So many of the inventions that we enjoy today were created by people who were poor, who were destitute.
So keep us poor and destitute so we can keep inventing stuff? Is that necessity is the mother of invention, so keep black people poor so we can keep inventing peanut butter and the stoplight and,
The peanut butter is a very valuable product. I mean,
we agree on that. I love me some peanut butter.
But it's not just peanut butter. 94% of all products that we enjoy today are created from peanut butter. Nobody created more to the population growth of the world.
Yeah, but you know what, Donna Jackson? I mean, all of those are great points. But lots of rich people invent things too. Ever heard of Elon Musk? His family was already super wealthy before he invented one single thing. If he did invent something, and the same is true of lots of wealthy, pretty much Silicon Valley. Those are middle and upper middle class kids with all the advantages in the world. I don't think we have to starve our community out to make them inventors. I know you want to talk about Black Lives Matter. We'll do that when we come forward. Okay, you want to get one more word in? We'll do that, and then we'll talk BLM when we come forward.
I was going to say the largest corporation in the world is Walmart, who was invented by an individual who was impoverished.
What was invented? Get a store, sell stuff cheap by paying workers almost nothing and making immigrants clean your store at night for free. Is that an invention? I think it's just a draconian business model.
More for poor people. Sam Walton does more for poor people than the United States government.
You mean he makes more poor people? Oh. I mean, people at Walmart stores that work at Walmart stores are getting food stamps and government benefits. to make ends meet.
So are people that work for the IRS in this country.
So then why do you guys want to defund the IRS?
No one in this country, that's the same. And that's not because of Sam Walton. That's because of monetary policies that create inflation, that create artificial scarcity.
Okay, keep telling yourself that. Artificial scarcity. Now, there's a topic we might agree on. Donna Jackson, I'd love to continue this conversation when we come forward. I know you have a lot to say about Black Lives Matter. I'm ready. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, Black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any Black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from Unapologetically Progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Ask any former youth in foster care what they missed most while growing up, and they will most likely answer, someone to show me unconditional love. Now, isn't that something we all wished we could experience? Here in Los Angeles, up to 40% of homeless youth on our streets identify as LGBTQ+. The most prevalent reason for homelessness among this population is the rejection they've experienced from their own families. The LA County Department of Children and Family Services and Raise a Child are searching for safe, nurturing, and affirming foster parents within our community willing to stand up and serve all children and youth in foster care, especially LGBTQ youth. Learn the many benefits to becoming a foster parent. Attend a free Raise a Child virtual or in-person informational event to learn more. RSVP now at raiseachild.org. That's raiseachild.org. And thank you.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
It does continue right now, and I'm happy to welcome into the space Donna Jackson. She's the Director of Membership Development for the Project 21 Black Leadership Network. She's got a Bachelor in Accountancy from Cal State San Marcos, and she's worked in accounting, auditing. She's a member of the National Association of Accountants. She's also been a political operative in the state of Arkansas, working on the campaigns of Mike Huckabee, Tim Hutchinson, and then Representative Asa Hutchinson. Donna Jackson, you have beef with Black Lives Matter, as I'm finding many Black conservatives do.
Well, I think it's their Marxist background. I think it's the fact that they want to destroy freedom of religion, especially Christianity. I think that they want to destroy the family. And I think that they just don't speak for all Black Americans. This is really about having a balanced view. They've collected billions of dollars.
Okay, you know what? I want to unpack your talking points one at a time because you just threw down like a whole series. Like, I feel like you're like the John Coltrane of the right now, just throwing down riffs. So let's unpack them. You say that Black Lives Matter hates family. I have been at many a Black Lives Matter march, event, gathering, and I see lots of families. I see traditional so-called nuclear families, but I also see all different kinds of configurations of families. So I've never understood that talking point. Although I know what its supposed origins are, but why do you say that? What evidence do you have that Black Lives Matter wants to destroy families?
Well, I should have clarified that it's the traditional nuclear family. That is the institution that they think that passes down racism.
No, that's not stated anywhere on any Black Lives Matter. You just made that up. It's not anywhere.
Well, that's part of the Marxist critical race theory.
Okay. I know there are some people that identify as socialists or even Marxists within the organization. There's a wide range of folks. You're right. They don't speak for everybody. Nobody speaks for everybody. I don't think Black Lives Matter anywhere said they speak for everybody, but nowhere has it been written or said by Black Lives Matter that they don't support the nuclear family. So to me, if you're going to throw out talking points and just with no basis in reality, that's really problematic, Donna Jackson.
Well, they said that they were trained Marxists.
No, Patrice Cullors said that. She said that about herself individually, that she studied Marxism. She didn't say she was trained Marxism. She did say she studied that. That's one person. There's 33 chapters. And actually, Ms. Cullors has stepped down from BLM, but she's still an activist. So, okay. So you pivot to something you can kind of semi-support. What I asked you is why you said they destroy families. You said they are against freedom of religion. I actually know that's not true. What they espouse is that exactly the opposite, freedom of religion, that anyone should be able to worship as they see fit. Where do you get this from? What makes you say Black Lives Matter is against freedom of religion?
Well, certain religions, I should say that. The ultimate oppressor is Christianity, or considered Christianity.
I've never ever heard that in Black Lives Matter. In fact, there's quite a few pastors, Christian pastors, that are affiliated with the movement, and there's even a group called Clergy for Black Lives. They're all Christian. I mean, no, they're not all Christian. There's actually, I'm wrong. There's some rabbis. There's, there's indigenous folks. There's Christian folks. There's even Muslims. So Clergy for Black Lives is a non-denominational, or I should say multi-denominational.
Well, we all want Black lives to thrive. That's without saying. But I think that a lot of the destruction, a lot of the riots, a lot of this so-called division that we're causing throughout all of the society is problematic. I mean, there's good
So you condemn January 6th then, for sure, because they were actually trying to overthrow the government. They were not just marching for their rights. They were trying to kill the vice president, kill Nancy Pelosi. And by protesting, you mean putting up a gallows to hang Mike Pence? Huh?
That's a narrative that's not proven. That's a talking point.
You haven't seen the video of those protesters going, hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence. You haven't seen the actual gallows that they erected. How is it a talking point how is it a talking point when there's evidence?
There's 44. There's things that are taken out of context for 44,000 hours.
How do you take hang Mike Pence out of context? How is hang Mike Pence? That was a full sentence with an exclamation mark at the end. How do you take that out of context? Repeated over and over again with a gallows erected. How is that out of context? Make it make sense.
And I will. How about the FBI informants that were in the crowd?
Oh, right. That talking point. That's not just a talking point. That's a conspiracy theory at that point.
Well, the resurrection of Jesus Christ was a conspiracy theory. It's true.
the resurrection of Jesus Christ is theology. That's not the same as a conspiracy theory. That's faith. That's faith. That's different than the news. I know a lot of conservatives have a hard time, understanding the difference between, news and sermon, between a history book and a spiritual text. But they actually exist in two different realms of our intellectual understanding.
But that's also conspiracy theories today is truth tomorrow. We say that all the time.
Conspiracy theories today is truth tomorrow. Well, yeah, that has happened in some cases, but not when we actually have concrete evidence to prove what you're saying is wrong. I mean, you're saying that they were protesting. We saw people on videotape, and you're saying it was the FBI. Where's the proof? Where's the proof?
The people that destroyed property were wrong. People who destroyed property.
Okay, well, we can agree on that. Not property, but not the people that were threatening AOC and Nancy Pelosi and Pence. That was fine. They can threaten people, but they can't destroy property. Is that what you're saying?
No. And if you threaten someone, then that's 100% wrong. We've had threats from all people towards all politicians. That's also wrong. Maybe they didn't get
not while storming their offices, though.
People, the Capitol just got stormed during the pro-Palestine protest.
No one was inside of the halls of Congress, and it's the point that you're making is interesting. So you think that the police. No, not in people's offices, not tearing stuff up. So you think that the police responded the same way to the people marching for the rights of innocent civilians that they did to the insurrectionists at the Capitol? You think that they were treated the same way by police?
No, they weren't.
Okay.
No, they weren't. And they're not insurrectionists. They're protesters the same. We've had destruction of property during George Floyd.
Has anyone ever... You know what? Let me stop. Okay, we just have a minute and a half. I want to let you, give out your contact and make your case. I know I don't think we have you. We have you for the full hour? I don't think so.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
So, and I respect, people destroying property, people making threats should be prosecuted.
Including the president?
If that's the case.
Including the 45th president?
Include people who make these kind of comments, and when it's proven, should be prosecuted, irregardless of who you are.
Okay.
And that's been coming from all sides, and everyone should be treated the same. Justice should be justice for everyone. Prosecution should be prosecuted for everyone, irrespective of your political lean. I think that, there's been lots of threats, even against the last 45th president, that went unchecked because of the political lean. And I think that is wrong regardless. Danger is danger. But once that's proven, I think that once that's proven, then that should be the case. But it should be based upon real evidence, not political prosecution.
Not videotape, real evidence.
Well, not 1 hour of videotape, because there's 44,000 hours of videotape that we're not watching, that we haven't seen, but it's being released right now.
Yeah.
Because we know that if you if you take any person's word out of context, then you can make it sound like anything you want to.
Nationalcenter.org.
All should be real.
Donna Jackson, thank you for joining me today. If you want to stay on, I invite you, but I'm up against a hard stop here, news, traffic, and sports. You can find Miss Jackson and everything she's talking about at nationalcenter.org or visit The Sunken Place. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The U.S. Supreme Court is rejecting an appeal by former Minneapolis police officer who killed George Floyd, who is black. That means Derek Chauvin's second-degree murder conviction and sentence will be upheld. Chauvin's legal team tried to argue that he was denied a fair trial due to prejudice and publicity surrounding the case. The now 47-year-old is currently serving a 21-year sentence in Arizona. Snoop Dogg, who is black, isn't quitting marijuana after all. The rapper, known for his love of cannabis, posted a video on Monday announcing his partnership with Solo Stove, a smokeless fire pit brand. This comes after Snoop posted late last week that he was giving up smoke and asked fans to respect his privacy. The rapper will serve as the official spokesman for the brand. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wynn on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Looking for a better way to get around LA? SoCal 511 gives you real-time traffic alerts to help you find faster ways to get around LA County. It's totally free and helps motorists easily find fast track and roadside assistance services. Visit go511.com or dial 511 on your phone.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers get their first road win of the season. They were in San Antonio last night and won by 25. Best stat of the night belongs to James Harden. 10 assists and no turnovers in 28 minutes. The Lakers play Utah tonight at Crypto.com, 7 p.m. tip-off on TNT. Sad news in the Lakers family. The brother of former Lakers star Michael Cooper was fatally shot early Sunday morning in Washington Park, a park in Pasadena. Mickey Cooper was gunned down in the same park where he and Michael grew up playing basketball. Pasadena police have a 24-year-old male suspect in custody. Mickey Cooper was 64. UCLA's men's basketball team lost by 2 to number 4 Marquette in the Maui Invitational. The USC women's team got 15 points from freshman Juju Watkins to beat Seton Hall in a first-round tournament game in the Bahamas. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. There are a lot of great dads out there. Sometimes those dads get divorced. For more than 30 years, we have represented men in divorce, confronting the pitfalls that could devastate your finances or harm your family relationships. While every situation is different, our goal is to get the best outcome for you and your kids. Visit CordellCordell.com to take the first step.
1455 Frazee Road, Suite 1050, San Diego, California, 92108. Online at CordellCordell.com.
A psoriasis flare-up can make a walk in the park, well, no walk in the park.
It's that obvious, huh? I've tried so many lotions and creams, but I still have symptoms.
So those don't do enough to treat the inflammation beneath the skin, leaving you with those uncontrolled symptoms.
Makes sense, but what else can I do?
You can get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Make an appointment and, oh, you're already on it.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment.
Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
At Susan G. Komen, we believe that ending breast cancer needs all of us working together. Because if you've just been diagnosed and don't know where to turn, we've got you. If you can't afford the treatment you need, we've got you. And if you are driven to honor the loved one you've just lost, we have a place for you here. Because of you, we're supporting those who need help today while tirelessly searching for tomorrow's cures. Visit Komen.org and be a part of our Susan G. Komen community today.
On your period, sudden gushes happen without warning. But now, you can say goodbye to stand-up gush fears, thanks to Always Ultra Thins with rapid dry technology. It absorbs gushes 2 times faster than the leading store brand and gives you up to 100% leak-free protection. Hello, clean and comfortable with always Fear No Gush.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, you know what? You know what? I don't want what they're smoking over there at Project 21. I don't know what it is, but it's a powerful something. 800-920-1580 is the number if you want to weigh in. Kwamel's on deck from Gardena. Good morning. Hi, Kwamel.
Thank you, Dominique, for giving me a reason to, because I said in the chat yesterday, I was like, I better call tomorrow. This is a short week, and oh my Lord, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Woo, you're not for real. I cram to understand, like MC Light, how these black conservatives, take themselves seriously, even spitting some of this nonsense. It sounds like old '60s comedy writers came up with it. It's really bad. I was already thinking earlier in the talking point realm about the whole idea of religious freedom, and when they, when the right starts preaching and getting all growly about it. They only ever mean Christianity. They don't mean allowing Moors and Rastas and and Buddhists to have equal space on the air. Get their Sunday morning or Saturday morning or Friday morning show, and give America the marketplace of ideas. Out front for everybody to see. No, they only mean the evangelicals, and every mad, goofy, nasty evangelical thing is supposed to be the way of America, and she pretty much should have been hung up on right on the spot. The second she did that deflection in defense of those January 6th thugs, They everybody knows they should have got much more than came their way. And anybody that sits there tries to defend that is, since I can't say the other word on the air, is an utter trash panda, straight up. And you know what trash panda means. Yeah, no, I've had enough of these goofballs. Like if they're gonna come talk amongst us, they got to be serious. They got to care about black people, straight up and down. So I'm gonna make Molly Bell mad right now, real quick, because I know others want to weigh in and beat that person down with words, of course, not physically.
Right.
We don't advocate physical violence here in the 1580 delegation, but so I don't know if you ever got around to talking about yes, Molly Bell, here it comes. Talking about the Andre 3000 album.
No,
and,
we haven't talked
interview.
about that yet. No, we haven't. His flute opus.
Yeah, because it's crazy polarizing. I mean, there's a lot of people that love it and say, "Yo," I mean, we glad that folks are jumping on that Pharoah Sanders, that other people of 70s jazz lanes and giving us that experimentation again. And I have to agree, that yes, it is time to return to that experimentation, whether it's the jazz albums, all the fusion that was happening, those spoken word albums, me being a poet myself and saying, that's in there for us to talk about. Now, speaking of spoken word, I do agree where people are saying, okay, like that's kind of a weird excuse to not rap. Though I also agree where Andre is coming from, hang on, because I want to make this point. I also agree that you can't force that kind of that way of creativity if it's not there. But at the same time, it is capable of being talked about. You know what I mean? And I understand I wasn't going to like the kind of, I guess, subjects that would be considered juvenile and moved on from. Another the brother E40 just came up with a new record. I always love hearing E40 do his thing. that off that mob joint, but at the same time, and I'm gonna land on this note. I heard a Sway interview where he says, he's done like 27 albums and kind of talked about, some of these. He talks about some of these same things on prior albums already. So I'm like, damn, E40, okay, we love you, so why not experiment with trying another thing? Is that just too off brand for you? So it gave a lot to think about, and I think Lauren should be kind of looking at some of this too, and adding to this conversation of what we do, as Gen X, as
Lauren, you mean Hill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just making sure that's what you were referring to. Yeah, you know what? I mean, people. I haven't heard Andre 3000's piece. I think anything that's this polarizing is definitely worth talking about. I believe that as artists, we have freedom to do whatever we want, but also folks have freedom to not buy it or not like it or not come see us anymore. That's the bargain. Look, you're not known. You're not known worldwide as a great flautist. I'm not known worldwide, as a supermodel. If I decide that I want to pursue that career, good luck to me. But you, as a person that listens to me on the radio, may not be in the market for a supermodel, and that's what I have to deal with.
Matter of fact, my final note, and I'll thank you for your time on this note. As John Fugelsang said, his mother said, true artists have a ministry. Some for Andre, Lauren, and E40 to think about. Thank you for your time.
True artists have a ministry. True artists. What do you say, Miles? I mean, you're an artist. I feel like I am too, but I know that when you're on brand, that's when you make money. Everyone knows that, but no one should be forced to make money, having making money be their number one goal. But if you want people, if you're known as a rapper and you do something else, people have a right to react to that, don't they?
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, as an art, I did peep Andre's album, by the way. It was great background music. It wasn't really something you actively listen to, but I did want to give him a stream and support him as an artist. Shout out to his debut album. Nothing wrong with that.
Solo album, right?
Yeah, debut solo album. I hope he goes platinum. Hope he gets all the love he really wants as an artist. I hope he gets it with this as his debut album. But it's not going to be in the hip-hop lane, and there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, go ahead, freely create, do what you want to do, experiment. But if it's not everybody's vibe, then that's not on the people. That's on you as...
Right. I mean, if you decide to put out Miles Lowe opera, you may get some new fans in the opera world, but people that are used to looking to you for a certain type of material are going to be surprised, and some will be mad. I mean, that's what it is.
It's just it's literally like doing music in a different language. Some people don't understand it. Some people don't accept it. They get what it is, maybe, but it may not be what they want to sit up here and hear. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, especially when you're Andre 3000, because he's just so revered, right? As a rap artist.
Right.
And, people are like, at last, the solo album, and there's no rap. I mean, yeah, I'll stream it over the weekend, too, but...
And, I mean, off top of that, too, though, all his promo run was on traditional hip-hop style platforms and hip-hop style,
because that's who's going to pay attention.
That's who's paying attention. That's who your fan base is. So there's nothing wrong with that, but yeah, it's those are the people who are going to critique you as well too. I
mean, I think maybe a more apt comparison for me would be if I suddenly became like that Donna Jackson lady and started spewing these right-wing talking points. I can do that because I'm a free thinker, and if I decide that I want to go to the sunken place, that's my right. Or if I decide that I want to be the new Omarosa, that's my right. But I can't be tripping if the KBLA delegation is like, nah, that's not the Dominique we signed up for.
Mm-hmm. I remember my varsity football coach in high school told me, he said, you have freedom of choice, but not of the consequences.
That's right.
So, yeah, that's all it is.
That's exactly right. I mean, freedom of speech is same thing. Freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences. You can say it, and then you got to deal with it. Even if it wasn't that in the law, that's the law of karma.
And I think that as well for Andre, you can't be mad at the critiques, the honest critique, because they supported you. They gave you a listen. They checked your album out. And that's all you really can ask for as an artist in the first place.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have a friend who posted something mad at people for, talking bad about Andre and just was basically saying that this shows that you don't appreciate, real jazz. You don't appreciate real music. You want this artist to be stuck in their lane. And I get that. Like, maybe we as consumers need to expand our horizons a little bit. But again, if I signed up for chocolate and you suddenly give me vanilla, I might not want that. I'll taste it. And if I don't like it, I'm going to go get what I wanted somewhere else. Maybe I'll go to Miles Low Music and download the, while we're young.
Download While You're Young, Instagram, and Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, everywhere you get music, man. While You're Young is some true hip hop for you. So when you're done listening to Andre, you get your relaxation in, you zen, you meditate.
I do meditate. I do like my rappers to rap. And is there any flute on that?
There's a little saxophone sample. I sampled some Miles Davis and put them on there. So.
Wow. All right. Well, hey, see, you get the best of both worlds, Miles Low Music. If you got something to say, I'd love to hear it. 800-920-1580. Next hour, we've got the famed historian, Dr. Gerald Horn. If you need to reset your brain after our Talking Point Tuesday segment, that's available to you as well. We do it all here. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, Maisha Cairo here, KBLA, live at Chase Bank on Crenshaw and Vernon for the In This Together tour with female business owners, a day of empowerment, community panels, and best of all, tips on building business from marketing to capital. I was able to speak with Kate Luzio, former banking executive and now owner of Luminary, who partnered with Chase for this tour. She makes it her business to build community for business owners.
Yes, so I was a banker for 20 years before I decided to become an entrepreneur. 7 of those years were actually at JP Morgan Chase. One of the biggest things that I had going into my entrepreneurial journey was a big background in banking.
So what advice are you giving business owners looking for financial backing today?
So Chase brings in so much knowledge and the opportunity to understand what financial tools are out there for business owners to build, grow, and scale their business. A lot of business owners will say, well, I need to get a loan immediately. Well, you wouldn't just lend money to your friend if you didn't know why they needed it. I tell every business owner, you need a business plan, you need financial projections, you need a banker. Because you have to start building a relationship with a banker so that they get comfortable with how you're going to build that business and so that they can eventually support you in different ways.
Makes sense. So visit the Chase Community Center on Crenshaw and Vernon. Meet a banker today. Tell them about your business. I'm Maisha Cairo in the community for KBLA with JP Morgan Chase.
Do you have both Medi-Cal and Medicare? The new LA Care health plan called LA Care Medicare Plus, HMO DSNP, can help you get the most out of your health plan for $0 premium. LA Care is here to provide Angelenos with access to quality health care at an affordable cost. For $0 premium, you can get full benefits from vision coverage and in-home support services to prescription drug coverage, plus more. Call 855-688-1479. 855-688-1479.
Only 1 in 5 people with autism are employed, despite many having the skill set and desire to work.
Maybe it's because employers don't know what kind of jobs they can do. Like, what about a programmer?
That's a job for someone with autism.
How about a healthcare worker?
Yep. That is too. People with autism can do a lot of different jobs, but often get overlooked due to outdated stigmas. Introducing WIN by Autism Speaks. We help businesses lead the way in inclusive hiring.
What about a ranch hand?
To learn more, go to autismspeaks.org/win.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
And another thing I didn't get a chance to debunk because the talking points were really flying in that conversation with Ms. Donna Jackson. There was no President Barack Obama reparations task force. I think all of us know that. I think it's a steady, some people are quite disappointed that the 44th president did not support reparations. He has said since that that reparations are justified, but they would be hard to accomplish because of white resistance. But Ms. Jackson was claiming that there was a reparations task force. under President Barack Obama, and I think we would have all known about that. Marcel from L.A., your turn.
Good morning, Dominique. Thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to chime in a little bit just on where we are today. It's just so irritating because, first of all, Andre 3000, when he was a rapper, he was outside the box already. And people made comments about his taste in fashion and all this and that, but you still said, oh, he got bars, right? So, but he was already out the box as a rapper. So I'm not surprised that, he's out the box right now. This particular project, he's not in the rap box, but what I love about him and his position is he don't need nobody to buy a single copy of anything. He's just sharing his artistry with us as an artist. So I have an appreciation for that, as opposed to now everybody with Twitter fingers want to put all their opinions and everything in it. Now, let's go back to the days where, your grandma told you, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think those days may be gone for good, Marcel, but it's worth trying. So why do you say that he doesn't need anyone? You thinking he's in a financial position where he doesn't need anyone to stream his album? Is that what you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, in the financial position where
that would be great.
The sales.
I didn't realize that, but I do love what you're saying is how can you expect, in a way he is on brand by being outside the box, even though his brand is rap. He's always pushed people's buttons. There's a reason why him and Erykah Badu were a thing.
Right. And then think about this, too. Every time if you was to see Andre right now before this album, what you going to ask him? What you working on? Oh, you want to know what I'm working on? Here you go. Check it out. Because I'm sure everybody runs up to him saying, what you working on?
The first thing I would say is come on my show, but yeah.
Yeah, right.
Then maybe the second thing is, what are you working on? My first thing is always, when are you going to come on my show?
Right. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, Marcel. It's an interesting perspective. I feel like, he is, what Marcel said is almost like he is on brand in being outside the box, and that's true. I actually liked the outfits and the quirkiness, and even in Andre 3000's rap, he's always different, right? What he's talking about, the way he's saying it. So yeah, I can see that. I didn't realize he was that solvent to where he, didn't really have to sell anything. We should all be so grateful. But hopefully, as artists, as political analysts, as activists, as voters, even as business owners, we all make decisions based on what is true to ourselves, true to our heart, our so-called brand, our mission, and not only based on what we think is expected of us and what would be the most popular, so to speak. You know what? Since we had Ms. Jackson throwing around all these talking points about Black Lives Matter, I need to address another terrible. It's not quite a talking point, but it's a trickeration move that the news often does. Big story out right now about Black Lives Matter. It's some Black Lives Matter guy supposedly backing Trump. I'll tell you why that's pure BS when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the voice of reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit lafla.org. lafla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
So this is it's not a talking point strictly, but it kind of is a move that acts as a talking point. Whenever it's one of the ways that mainstream media smears Black Lives Matter and the movement, not just Black Lives Matter grassroots, the movement itself, is that anybody who says that they're Black Lives Matter, they just report it that way. Even if they don't say they're Black Lives Matter, if there's an organization that protests against police killing of black people or anything even vaguely associated with that, and they get in trouble, it will be reported as Black Lives Matter. Now, Newsweek and a whole bunch of other outlets this week are reporting that this guy, I don't even want to give him shine, the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Rhode Island and the founder of BLM Incorporated, is supporting Trump. Oh, it's getting all this play. Except for that, there is no Black Lives Matter Rhode Island chapter. It doesn't exist. Black Lives Matter Rhode Island is not a thing. And he can call himself BLM Incorporated. Listen to the sound of that. It's like, are you the capitalist wing of Black Lives Matter? Like, what even is that? Why is that okay, right? If you can't take, I don't know, the Democratic National Committee, and then any person who's a Democrat who does a murder, you could say, the DNC today murdered so-and-so. They don't do that because it's factually wrong, and they probably get the pantsuit off them by the Democratic National Convention. So why is it okay to do that with Black Lives Matter? It's trickeration. It's selective accuracy in journalism, right? So as a journalist, it's my responsibility to fact check and to not just repeat what someone tells me without looking into it. So if some rando nut who's decided to endorse Trump says he's Black Lives Matter, you need to at least find out if he's Black Lives Matter. If not, what you get to say is a Black Lives Matter knockoff called BLM Incorporated, which says it in the name itself, is endorsing Trump. Except that wouldn't be a big headline because no one would care that somebody that no one's ever heard of, including, and I've had conversations with people in leadership at grassroots, several of them, my colleagues here at the radio station and others, who say there is no Black Lives Matter Rhode Island and we've never heard of this guy. Huh. Operative, anyone? Plant? Yeah. COINTEL, anyone? Come on, give me a break. But mainstream media doesn't care. They would fact check it if it was the DNC, the RNC, the ADL, the NAACP. But when it comes to Black Lives Matter, anyone can say it and we'll just run with it, even if it's defamatory. That is a form of talking point. That's an important piece of our media literacy in reading between the headlines. News, traffic, and sports, and Dr. Gerald Horn. It's a great day around here. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The U.S. Supreme Court is rejecting an appeal by former Minneapolis police officer who killed George Floyd, who is black. That means Derek Chauvin's second-degree murder conviction and sentence will be upheld. Chauvin's legal team